Hey, my pretty babies, what is going on? You're checking out the RCWR show. Lee Sanders here. We're coming at you for Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. We are talking about NWA POWERRR SURGE. It was a Power Surge edition of the NWA this week, which reminds me, I definitely, when it comes to doing the Power Surge episodes, we definitely got to make sure we're representing and having the Surge shirt. So NWA, maybe you could do your man a solid over here. I don't need much, but I know I love you. You know, I gotta look into doing a NWA Power Surge shirt. So hopefully, when I go on their site next go round, they will have my respected size. All I'm asking for is an XL. That's all I want, an XL. Just so I can, breathe comfortably and it can be all nice and loose and all that. But solid episode of NWA Power Surge. This was the 4th episode, and I know that some of the stuff that they had show really the main event match and what this episode was really centered around, which was all about the late Joseph Hudson, Jocephus. I know a lot of people that are maybe heard about this week's Power Surge, checked out some of the highlights, might have been scratching their heads kind of going, I don't quite understand this. Why are we doing some type of a memorial edition of Power to Josephus? Don't really understand that. Well, hopefully this will kind of help you guys connect the dots even more. But if you're asking that question to yourself, it's mainly because Joseph Hudson's birthday was on July 1st. And as we all know, we pretty much were going into a major holiday and everything. So I think that when you look back on this particular episode, now it kind of makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, they're doing that nod because, okay, yeah, got it. So hopefully, now that I've laid that out, you guys kind of understand why we got the match with Josephus for this installment of Power Surge. It really makes all the sense in the world. And then, not to mention, hey, look, not for nothing, but I didn't even watch that match when it had went down initially, because we're talking about 2019 here. So 2019, I don't remember extensively covering the NWA as much as what I've been doing in 2021 alone, and I would say late 2020 as well, really late 2020 going into 2021. Previous years, we really weren't talking about the NWA promotion like that. Maybe a couple of footnotes here and there, but we weren't talking about it as regularly as how we're covering it now and everything. So for me, it was a nice treat to actually see this main event match that Josephus had against David Arquette. And remember, this was around that period where David Arquette was really taking his training and preparation for doing his in-ring return. This wasn't a case for David Arquette where it was just, okay, I'm one and done and that's it. No, he was on a string of appearances for various promotions back then because he really felt as though he had this serious chip on his shoulders and he had to prove to the wrestling fans, to the entire world, but mainly to himself, that no, everything that went down with me and my involvement in pro wrestling, it's so much more than just some actor celebrity that's just coming in. And yeah, and it's so funny because, well, it's not funny, but when you really stop and think about it, it's interesting because I remember when he became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion back in the day, it wasn't initially under the microscope of what it ended up becoming now. You guys feel where I'm coming from? It wasn't like that at all. On the contrary, I remember when it first went down, there was so much media buzz. You just would have had to been living in it in real time, and everybody was just like, wait a minute, David Arquette did what? Wait, he did what again? And there was just this shock and buzz that was in the air from what I remember. Now, you did have core wrestling fans back then, such as myself and my inner circle of friends, that just looked at that moment, and we did kind of shrug our shoulders a little bit and just kind of said, well, seriously, what's going on with WCW? And it was kind of like, all right, let's see what's going on with WWF. It was, it's kind of one of those type of deals. So this was a nice retro throwback. And in case you guys don't know, that maybe new coming on board, again, the only way you can watch new episodes of NWA, Power Surge, all new NWA shows, you got to have a Fight TV subscription. So if you're in a position where you cannot afford to pay the $5 a month to check out NWA content, well, then shows like what I'm doing right now will definitely help you, get you caught up to speed on what all you had missed and everything. And with regards to these Power Surge episodes, it's always, and I love the great job that the NWA people do when it comes to these episodes, because they pretty much mix in a little bit of exclusive matches that you're only going to be able to see, exclusive new matches that you're only going to be able to see on Power Surge. And they also string together a couple of key story arcs on what you've been seeing weekly on Power. And once in a blue moon, you'll kind of get a nice little retro gem. But this was probably, since they've been doing the Power Surge series, this was probably one of the first episodes that I can recall in recent memory where they just said, okay, you know what, we're not really going to even continue on with a couple of our main stories from Power. We're just gonna let this be all about pure wrestling action. And I think that was pretty good, what they had did going into this matchup, especially since it was built around the hair versus hair match between Jocephus and David Arquette. So good stuff right there. So look, this is going to be a long, drawn out recap and review, because honestly, there's no need for that. We pretty much had only got 3 matches, and that's pretty much it. So first matchup of the evening, Marche Rocket taking on Jeremiah Pluckett. Marche Rocket picking up the dub. Solid matchup between both men. I see a lot of promise there in Marche Rocket. I know he's been around for a good minute now, but some of us newer wrestling fans are just now finding out about this guy. And I tell you, Marche Rocket's been growing on me very quickly within several weeks. I'm really enjoying his work. Marche Rocket, pretty ass cutter too, to finish off Jeremiah Pluckett, by the way. I've seen some cutters in my time, and I've seen some cutters that look pretty sloppy, that looked pretty slow paced there. But Marche Rocket, he is definitely up there among the greats as far as executing a smooth cutter. I definitely got to give him mad props. Second matchup of the evening, Jordan Clearwater in triple threat action against Papa Jive and Rush Freeman. This match I was paying a bit of close attention to, because one of the things that was clicking in my head was, well, wait a minute now. One of the last times we had saw Jordan Clearwater, it was on the most recent episode of NWA Power. And remember, he was with Titus. Who else? He was also with his manager there. And I'm trying to remember who else was all part of that little entourage there. But they basically were saying tick-tock, Pope, because you got to get a 7th successful NWA TV title defense. But the question is, are you going to be able to get there? And so you got Tyrus putting a spoiler out there that he guaranteed there was just no way in hell Pope was going to be able to get that 7th title defense, because if Pope was able to get that 7th title defense, then automatically he's going to be able, if he wants to, he's going to be able to cash in for a championship opportunity for the 10 pounds of gold currently held by Nick Aldis. So for this particular match, I'm looking at how things were going. It's like, okay, so we've got this alliance that's kind of going on here with Clearwater and crew and Tyrus. Okay, maybe, just maybe, we're going to see that continuation here on Power Surge. And we didn't get any acknowledgement of what transpired from the last Power. But I will give NWA the writing team and the bookers and all that, I got to give them a lot of props for how they booked this match, because they did have Clearwater go over in this one, which I felt was very, very important for where you get ready to go into your next batch of Power episodes. So pretty solid right there. Jordan Clearwater, he's another one. Good look, great looking face and everything. I just, I mean, to each its own, but he's got that milk face baby look down. He really, really does. And, if he's going to be a heel, because I'm still kind of looking at him and I'm going, okay, so following what's going on with the story arc, is he just being a little naive, and there is a certain code about him where he wants to get things the right way. He wants to earn wins. He seems kind of conflicted. He'll take the W where he can, but if he can have it his way, he wants it to be on the up and up. He wants to get it man to man, toe to toe, basically. Not really believing in the whole honor among thieves. So is it a case where his character is just very conflicted right now, and he's being pushed around, being told what to do, or is he a heel? He's still kind of teetering between both of those tiers. But if he is going to go the heel route, look, I don't know if he can grow facial hair, but if he can grow some facial hair, I think at this point he needs a little bit of a stubble. He needs some type of a little bit of a stubble to kind of help him out going forward. I personally feel, but Jordan Clearwater definitely, I got my eyes peeled on a couple of cats there in NWA, and just when I'm looking at certain folks, he's definitely one that stands out to me. I see, truly, no bullshit, I see some really solid potential in that young man. Third matchup, main event of the evening, Jocephus taking on David Arquette. So look, if you didn't see this match, let me set this up properly for you guys. This match stems from the NWA pop-up event that was back in January of 2019. And again, this was the hair versus hair match between David Arquette and Josephus, Joseph Hudson. And again, just in case you're tuning in live right now, or maybe you were doing something and you kind of missed it a few minutes ago, we pretty much got this match. Everything with this Power Surge episode was really centered around this match. I suspect mainly because July 1st was Joseph Hudson's birthday. And if you guys have been on top of your NWA programming, we really didn't get that, either some type of memorial edition or just, hey, during this episode, we're going to pay homage to one of our colleagues. We didn't get that. So this makes a whole lot of sense where we got it right now. And I mean, I think most folks will, again, understand that we were going into a major holiday and all that. So good main event match. Again, I did not see this the first time that it had went down initially. So to get context, to see the build up, everything that led to this infamous hair versus hair match. And I tell you what was also pretty badass too, and I never even knew about it. It was awesome seeing, as they began this Power Surge episode, Billy Corrigan talking with May Valentine and just giving her the bullet points on the history of his friendship and relationship with Joseph Hudson. And I had no clue. I don't think really a majority of the fans had any clue that when Billy Corrigan was doing his thing out in Chicago with that Windy City wrestling promotion, Joseph Hudson, boom, right then and there, and the friendship, that's everything pretty much began out there. And then when Billy Corrigan eventually has an opportunity to do some stuff with Impact Wrestling, he brought in Joseph Hudson, and to just basically hear that Joseph Hudson never really got that opportunity to really shine and put his creativeness out there on the spotlight. I mean, we know how that whole run with Corrigan and Impact had ended up. So to then see Billy go in the position of coming into control of the NWA, and then once again going to his friend Joseph Hudson, hey, like the very first phone call, he makes is to Joseph Hudson, hey, I'm doing this thing over here in NWA. You want in? And Joseph pretty much going in. I didn't know all of that history. So that was pretty badass to hear. And I tell you what, I loved what Joseph Hudson was doing as the question mark. I sadly did not get to see the Josephus character. I didn't get to see the whole spiritual advisor. I didn't get to see any of that when it was initially going down. But I tell you what, man, based off just what I've been learning about him, really since his death, guy was gifted. He definitely was one of those overlooked creative geniuses as far as in front of the camera and behind the camera. He definitely was greatly overlooked. I personally feel, and man, just the wide diversity and execution that this man can go with, how he wants to go about his characters and all that. Okay, are we going to go for something that's strictly purely comedic, or are we going to go with something that's kind of, satanic, cult-like, very dark? Are we going to, I mean, gifted guy, totally a gifted guy. And to see the whole press conference, everything leading up to this match, one thing that kind of had myself and a few of us that were quietly enjoying this stream together in the Discord was, who is that spiritual advisor? Because some of us were actually looking at this woman for the very first time and we're going, who's this bald chick? This bald chick is pretty damn hot. And I'm looking at her face, I'm studying it, and I usually don't forget a face. I'm going, man, she kind of looks like, wow, Women of Wrestling's Jungle Girl, Erica Porter. And I could be mistaken about this, but I don't believe I am. But I think it was a case where it was prior to 2019. I remember Erica Porter did have some health problems. Remember, there's something about cancer, but she did kick its ass. So I'm looking at the spiritual advisor going, hey, maybe, just maybe, this is Jungle Girl, Erica Porter, because she's got the mannerisms down, build and everything, and I'm looking at her. So like me and everybody else, we're actually doing our part. We're going online, trying to figure out who this woman is, and we all just pretty much hit the same thing, which is spiritual advisor. That's pretty much it. There's like nothing on her in any of the wrestling databases that's out there. All you get is just basically spiritual advisor. So for all we know, maybe this was just a paid actress that was just running around for a little bit, maybe a friend of the Hudsons, Billy Corgan, and maybe that's why there's no footprints in other places. But I found her to be very provocative. I found her to be very alluring, and just I couldn't help but I'm watching all the action, but I couldn't help but, yeah, what's going on with this chick over here though? Like she's got something cool going down here, so that was pretty badass. So I would definitely say, if you never saw the Josephus David Arquette match from the NWA pop-up event, then you got access to checking out NWA content, then put this on your list. Definitely check it out and everything. Because one interesting note, I found myself as I was watching this main event match, I was trying to find more Josephus content with the spiritual advisor specifically. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff has been put on private by NWA. And I mean, it's kind of understandable because they've got this deal now with Fight TV, and pretty much all the content has just pretty much gone to Fight TV. So it's kind of understandable why a lot of the stuff on their YouTube channel is in lock mode and everything. But overall, pretty solid episode of NWA POWERRR SURGE for this week. I told you guys, very short, sweet, simple. Now, we do have a new development that came about with the NWA Empowerrr event that's going to be going down the weekend, same weekend as the NWA 73rd anniversary pay-per-view event. And there was a NWA press conference that was held earlier this afternoon, and really the main bullet point to take away from this is there was a first entrant that was announced for the invitational, the women's invitational tournament. And basically, everything's going to be panning out. It's going to be going down at the Empowerrr event. And whoever wins that tournament, now we learn a little bit more information. Whoever wins that tournament, they're going to win a cup. And basically, they're going to be defending that cup every single year at the Empowerrr event. So it's already been put out there that this all-women Empowerrr pay-per-view event is going to be a yearly event that's going to happen on the same weekend as the NWA anniversary event. So that's step number one, right? But here's where it gets even more cooler. So remember that whoever wins the cup each year, they're going to basically be defending it. All right, badass. But what's also cool is that whoever wins the tournament of these Empowerrr events, they're going to go the very next night to the NWA anniversary show, and they're going to face the current NWA women's champion. So whoever wins this cup at this very first NWA Empowerrr, they will go 24 hours later to the anniversary show, and they will face Camille for the NWA Women's Championship. So that is badass. That is freaking badass. So we got our first entrant that was named. I'm still doing a little bit of research on her, but I actually had shared one of her matches with my hangout party in the Discord there, and shout out to them. They know who they are. Tootsie Lynn Ramsey, or just Tootsie Tootie Lynn. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep going Tootsie. I don't know. I've been thinking about Tootsie Rolls all day, but no, Tootie Lynn. Tootie Lynn. She's also known as Tootie Lynn Ramsey. There is a few matches of her that's floating around, but the one I would say, okay, this is most recent. Check this out, because it's definitely before the pandemic and everything. There's a match that she did against Sophie King for the Pro Wrestling Force promotion. So check that out. And look, I think that, you know, for a first entrant, all right, pretty good. Pretty good. I see some great potential there, especially if it was a case where ongoing, maybe she has an opportunity to, you know, be part of the NWA promotion on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see a lot of potential with her. I definitely do. Now, for those of you that might be a little bit curious, in regards to that Pro Wrestling Force promotion that I was talking about, you know, I swear, just when I thought I've heard of all the promotions that's running around, nah, man, I keep coming across new ones, right? But this one, from what I am able to see, I'm trying to see where they are based out of, because I'm actually on their Facebook page right now as we speak. I know they're USA based. Give me a second here. I might be able to give you guys a little bit more information here. Springfield, Illinois. They're based out in Springfield, Illinois. So, and she was doing some work for them. She doesn't have that much of a footprint that's running around. I don't even see a profile for her that's online. Right now, I'm just seeing, like, you type her in a YouTube search and you'll see a couple of matches that's here and there. Like, there's something from Glory Pro where she's taken on Reign Victoria. She's also been doing some stuff for the New South Championship Wrestling promotion. So there's definitely enough out there on her. PWE as well, she's worked for. So there's definitely some stuff out there if you want to try to get a better snapshot of her work and everything. But I think she's good. You know, still relatively young in her wrestling career. I saw a little bit too much, just my personal preference, and it's nothing personal against Tootie, no shade at her in any type of way, but for me personally, I saw too much in the match I watched of her with Sophie King, too much ballet. There was just too much flippity flip ballet. You know, I gotta get this in, and it's like, you know, I would just kind of dial that back just a little bit. You don't need to do all of that stuff. Just go in there and and that was to open up the match, right? That was to open up the match, and I just, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Luckily, after about 3-4 minutes into the match, the pacing got okay. All right. Like, okay, I see something. All right, yeah, I can definitely, if I were to kind of describe her a little bit of who she reminds me of and just like the potential she can go, she's got this nice crossbreed thing going on of, I would say, Kiera Hogan, Big Swall, and I'm thinking in-ring wise and all that. So she's got those two elements that's going on. And if there was a third mix I would put in there, I'm seeing a little bit of somewhere between Humberto Carrillo and Sin Cara, like the original Sin Cara that was running around in WWE. She's got like this nice weird hybrid cross thing between those wrestlers, respectfully, that's going on. So, I just think if we can see her in a really good system where they can kind of slow her down on her pacing a bit, and yeah, for sure. I can see her, but that's what she's reminding me of off the break. So yeah, that's relatively it as far as NWA news goes. Not really, much else has transpired since last we were on the air covering NWA. So I mean, that pretty much was it in a nutshell, honestly. So I wish there was more NWA news that I could share with you guys, but I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, programming note, we do have a new episode of the RCWR show that's going to be coming your way this Wednesday night, July 14th. And we'll be talking NXT Fallout. I will be live tweeting with you guys tonight about NXT, by the way. So get at me at the RCWR show. On that Wednesday edition, we'll also talk about AEW Dark, Elevation, Dynamite. We will preview the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary card because that pay-per-view is going down this weekend. We'll also preview the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view card, offer predictions as well. So we got a nice loaded up show for you guys this Wednesday night. So definitely make sure you tune in for that. Shout out to our sponsors. Definitely check them out. Gotta show mad love to newest sponsor that we're going to be working with for the next couple of months. Shout out to the good kind people over at AUTOPURCHASERS.com. Selling your car has never been so simple. If you have a new used vehicle, it's old, it's new, it's broken down, or no, it's operational, whatever the make, whatever the model is, if you have just gotten to a point, you know what, I want to sell this, I feel like selling this, as long as you have paid off your vehicle or you are very close to paying it off, AUTOPURCHASERS.com, they want to hear from you. Very easy, just go on the site, fill out the form, give them as much information about your car, photos if you want to include it as well. Then you just sit back, wait for them to present you an offer. If you like the offer, from that point, they make arrangements so that they can meet you in person and actually come collect the vehicle and pay you on the spot. You don't even have to worry about the vehicle being taken away from your place of residence or wherever you got it stationary. They'll use their own vehicles, tow truck company and all, to get that bad boy off of your hands. So make sure you show them love. Check them out, AUTOPURCHASERS.com, helping you say goodbye to your vehicle. It's never been this simple. So check them out, utilize them. Don't forget, August 20th, Friday, August 20th, nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I'm going on tour. On that particular day, I will be hosting a panel at this year's AwesomeCon event. I have some special guests that's going to be lined up. It's going to be a fun event for, we're going to be talking all things pro wrestling, pulp culture, entertainment. It's going to be awesome. So more information, make sure you go check out the AwesomeCon website. Check out the schedule for that Friday, August 20th. And yeah, definitely as it gets closer to that, I'll have even more announcements to share with you guys. We're looking forward to returning to the nation's capital to cover that event. So that is going to do it. As I get ready to make my exit, please kindly, especially if you guys had enjoyed yourselves here, do me a huge favor. And I particularly definitely want to hear from those of you that had checked out NWA Power Surge from this week. Or you heard about the news from NWA's press conference from earlier today. Tell me, what was your highs, what was your lows and everything. Definitely, you know, get the interactions going and all that. So those of you that check out this joint live, appreciate you. As you make your exit, hit that like. Really helps us out, pushes the content out there more to the algorithm team. So we're trying to do our best to make sure we let other people know that's into the NWA product. Hey, you know, there's other people that are talking about it. It might be kind of small, but yeah, there's other people that's talking about the NWA product. Here you go. Doing that helps us out. Post the comments below. That definitely helps out as well. All right, so that is going to do it. Those of you that tuned in live, thank you. Those of you that's going to be checking this out on demand and the downloads, thank you so much. And until next go around, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And see you. I'll see you, Wednesday. So less than 24 hours. Peace, y'all. Take care.